My girlfriend said I'd never have your ugly kids. So I left. Built an empire. Found someone who loved every part of me. 5 years later, she crashed my charity gala, childless, desperate, watching my pregnant wife glow on stage. But when she learned who my wife actually was, and what our child would inherit, she didn't just lose her smile. She lost everything she'd spent 5 years chasing. What's up, everyone? I'm David Chen, I'm 35 years old, and I'm about to tell you the most brutal, satisfying, and honestly insane story of how one cruel sentence changed the entire trajectory of my life and destroyed someone else's. Before we start, let me say this, I'm not perfect. I made mistakes. But what happened to me, what I did about it, and how everything came full circle. That's the kind of story that sounds too crazy to be true. Except it is. Every word. So let's go back 7 years. I was 28, working as a software engineer at a decent tech company, making good money but not rich by Silicon Valley standards. I was dating a woman named Vanessa. We'd been together for 3 years, and I thought she was the one. Vanessa was beautiful, like genuinely model beautiful. She knew it, I knew it, everyone knew it. She worked as an influencer and part-time model, always perfectly put together, always aware of how things looked. And me? I'm average height, skinny build, glasses, nerdy Asian guy. Nothing special in the looks department. But I loved her. I thought she loved me. We were at her friend's baby shower when everything imploded. Her friend had just had the most adorable baby boy, and everyone was cooing over him. I was holding the baby, making funny faces, and he was giggling. I looked over at Vanessa and said, I can't wait until we have one of these. The room went quiet. Vanessa's face went cold. She stood up, walked over, took the baby from my arms and handed him back to her friend. Then she grabbed my arm and pulled me outside. What the hell was that? She hissed. What? I just meant, you meant you wanted to have kids with me? She laughed, but it wasn't a nice laugh. David, be serious. I am serious. I thought we talked about wanting kids someday. I want kids, she interrupted. Just not your kids. I felt like I'd been punched. What? Look at you, David. Really look at you. You're short, you're scrawny, you wear glasses, you're not exactly winning any genetic lottery. I'm not having children that look like you. I'd rather die than get knocked up with kids that would inherit. That. She gestured at me like I was defective merchandise. I stood there, speechless. 3 years together. 3 years of me thinking we were building something. I'm with you because you're stable, she continued, like she was explaining something obvious. You make good money, you treat me well, you're convenient. But kids? No. When I have kids, they need to have a chance at being beautiful. They need to have good genetics. And sorry, but that's not you. Something inside me just broke. Not in a sad way. In a clarity way. You know what, Vanessa? You're right. She looked surprised. I am. Yeah. You're right that you shouldn't have kids with me. Because I deserve someone who actually loves me. All of me. Including the genetics you find so disgusting. David, don't be dramatic. We're done. I'll be out of your apartment by tomorrow. I left her standing there. Walked away. Blocked her number that night. And I made myself a promise, I was going to build a life so incredible that she'd regret every word she said. The next 2 years were brutal. I threw myself into work. I started a side project, an AI-powered app for medical diagnostics. I worked 80-hour weeks. I networked. I pitched investors. And slowly, miraculously, it started taking off. But more importantly, I started therapy. I worked through the damage Vanessa had done. I learned to see my own worth. I started working out, not to change who I was, but to feel strong. I learned to dress better, not for anyone else, but because I wanted to. Then I met Sarah. I was at a medical technology conference, pitching my app to potential hospital partners. Sarah was there as a keynote speaker. Dr. Sarah Williams, a renowned pediatric geneticist. Brilliant. Gorgeous. And when she smiled at me from across the room, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. We talked after her keynote. She was fascinated by my app, asked incredibly technical questions, challenged my algorithms. We debated for 2 hours over coffee. Then dinner. Then suddenly it was 2 a.m. and we were still talking. I should let you go, I said finally. You probably think I'm crazy for keeping you this long. She laughed. David, I haven't had a conversation this stimulating in years. Can I see you again? We started dating. And everything was different. Sarah loved that I was analytical. She found my height perfect for kissing. She thought my glasses made me look distinguished. She admired my ambition, my intelligence, my kindness. 6 months in, we were lying in bed when she said, I want kids with you someday. Smart, kind kids who get your work ethic and sense of humor. And your genes. I froze. My genes? Yeah. You have incredible genes, David. High intelligence, no history of genetic disorders, strong family longevity. From a genetic standpoint, you're an ideal partner. I started crying. I couldn't help it. I told her about Vanessa. About what she'd said. Sarah held me and said, that woman was an idiot. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life proving her wrong. We got married a year later. My company got acquired by a major tech corporation for $43 million. Sarah continued her groundbreaking research. We were happy. Actually, genuinely happy. Then came the charity gala. I'd started a foundation to provide free medical diagnostic tools to underserved communities. Sarah and I were hosting our annual fundraiser, a black tie gala with 500 guests, raising money for children's hospitals. I was on stage, giving my speech about the foundation's impact, when I saw her. Vanessa. She was in the crowd, somehow. Later I'd find out she'd bought a ticket through a corporate sponsor. She looked good, still beautiful, still perfectly styled. But there was something different. Something desperate in her eyes. I finished my speech, and Sarah joined me on stage. She was 6 months pregnant, glowing, wearing a dress that beautifully showed her belly. The crowd applauded as I talked about becoming a father, about wanting to create a better world for our child. I saw Vanessa's face fall. The smile disappeared. After the speeches, during the cocktail reception, she approached us. David. Oh my God, I thought that was you. Sarah looked at me, confused. I took her hand. Vanessa. It's been a while. 5 years. You look. Wow. You look amazing. She was scanning me up and down. The new suit, the confidence, the success radiating from every pore. I heard about your company. $43 million? That's incredible. Thank you. She turned to Sarah, sizing her up. And you are? Dr. Sarah Chen, Sarah said pleasantly, using my last name. David's wife. Vanessa's eyes went to Sarah's belly. Something ugly flashed across her face. Congratulations. When are you due? 3 months, Sarah said, her hand protectively on her stomach. That's wonderful. Vanessa's voice was strained. You must be so excited. We are, I said firmly. Sarah's family has already started a betting pool on whether the baby will get my eyes or her dimples. Vanessa flinched. Your eyes. Right. There was an awkward silence. Then Vanessa said, David, could we talk? Privately? Just for a moment? Sarah squeezed my hand. I'll be at our table. Nice meeting you, Vanessa. Once Sarah was gone, Vanessa's mask dropped. So you married a doctor. Smart move. I married someone I love. Right. Love, she laughed bitterly. David, I made a mistake. I've been thinking about it for years. What I said to you, it was cruel. I was young and stupid and, honest, I interrupted. You were honest about how you felt. But I was wrong. Look at you now. You're successful, you're confident, I'm still the same person, Vanessa. Same height. Same build. Same genetics. The only thing that changed is my bank account and my self-respect. She stepped closer. We could try again. I've grown. I've changed. I want. What? You want the money? The status? Because I guarantee you don't want me. You made that crystal clear. That's not fair. Do you know what Sarah said to me on our third date? I interrupted. She said she hoped our kids would get my genes. My intelligence, my personality, my genetics. She studies genetics for a living, Vanessa. It's literally her job to understand DNA. And she chose mine. Enthusiastically. Vanessa's face went pale. But here's the part you don't know yet, I continued. Sarah's not just any geneticist. She's the Sarah Williams. She's been nominated for a Nobel Prize for her work on genetic disorders. She comes from a family of doctors, scientists, and innovators. Her father is the Williams of Williams Medical Institute. Her mother is a neurosurgeon. Her brother is a Rhodes Scholar. Vanessa's eyes widened. She was putting the pieces together. So our child? I said quietly. Our child is going to inherit incredible genetics from both sides. Intelligence, curiosity, health, opportunity. Everything you said I couldn't give a child? I'm giving them that and more. David, and do you know the best part? When our child asks about their genetics, about their heritage, I'll tell them proudly about both sides of their family. Including mine. The side you found so disgusting. Vanessa's eyes were filling with tears. Why are you being so cruel? I'm not being cruel. I'm being honest. The same way you were honest with me at that baby shower. I said I was sorry. You said you made a mistake. That's not the same thing. A mistake is an error in judgment. What you did was reveal your character. And I'm grateful for it, actually. Because if you hadn't, I might have wasted more years with someone who saw me as genetically inferior. Sarah appeared at my elbow, sensing the tension. Everything okay here? Perfect, I said, putting my arm around her. Vanessa was just leaving. But Vanessa wasn't done. What about me, David? What about what I want? Sarah's eyes narrowed. She was smart. She'd figured it out. And what do you want? Sarah asked coolly. Vanessa looked between us, desperate. I've been trying to have a baby for 2 years. With my fiancé. We've done IVF, tried everything. And nothing works. The doctors say it's unexplained infertility, but I know it's because. She stopped, but we all knew what she was going to say. Because karma is real? I suggested quietly. Vanessa's tears were falling now. That's not fair. Fair? Sarah stepped forward, and I'd never seen her angry before. You told my husband you'd rather die than have children that look like him. You rejected him based on genetics, a field you know nothing about. And now you're here, at our event, crying because you can't have a baby? I didn't mean to. Let me tell you something about genetics, Sarah continued, her voice icy. Intelligence, empathy, resilience, these are the traits that matter. Not height. Not facial symmetry. Not whatever shallow criteria you used. My husband has incredible genetics. Our child will be brilliant, kind, and healthy. And every day, I thank God that someone like you was too ignorant to recognize what she had. Vanessa looked like she'd been slapped. Now, this is a charity event for children's hospitals, Sarah said. Children who are fighting genetic disorders, cancer, diseases they didn't choose. Real problems. Not the cosmetic concerns of someone who prioritized beauty over substance. So I'm going to ask you to leave. Now. Vanessa looked at me one last time. David, please, goodbye, Vanessa. Security escorted her out. We later found out she'd lied about having a fiancé. She was single, desperate, watching her friends have babies while she remained alone. She bought the gala ticket specifically to see me, hoping to reconnect. But here's where the story takes another turn. 3 weeks after the gala, I got a LinkedIn message. From Vanessa's brother, Ryan. He apologized for reaching out, said he'd heard what happened at the gala from mutual friends. Then he said something that shocked me. I need you to know that Vanessa's been in therapy since you broke up. She's been dealing with her mother's voice in her head her entire life. Our mom is a monster who raised us to believe that beauty and status were the only things that mattered. Vanessa is finally understanding how damaged she is. What she said to you is unforgivable, but she's not the same person. She's actually become a volunteer at a children's hospital, working with kids who have visible differences. She's trying to change. I'm not asking you to forgive her. I just wanted you to know she's trying to become better. I showed Sarah the message. She read it, then looked at me. What do you want to do? She asked. I don't know, I admitted. Part of me wants to ignore it. But part of me wonders if showing her grace might help her heal. Sarah thought for a moment. Then right back. Not for her. For you. Say what you need to say, and then close that chapter. So I did. I wrote Ryan back. Thank you for reaching out. I'm glad Vanessa is getting help. Therapy is important, and the work she's doing with kids is admirable. But I need you to understand something. Forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. I don't wish her harm. I genuinely hope she heals and finds happiness. But that healing can involve me. I've moved on. I'm building a life with someone who loves all of me. That chapter is closed, and it's not reopening. I wish her well, but from a distance. Please don't contact me again. Ryan never responded. And I never heard from Vanessa again. 3 months later, Sarah gave birth to our son, Aaron. He has my eyes, Sarah's dimples, and a curiosity that already amazes everyone who meets him. He's perfect. Not because of his genetics, but because he's ours. The first time I held him, I cried. Sarah asked if I was okay. I'm just so glad Vanessa was wrong, I said. About everything. Sarah smiled. She was wrong about everything that matters. Now, here's the epilogue that makes this story even crazier. 6 months after Aaron was born, I got a call from the foundation. Someone had made an anonymous donation of $100,000 to our children's hospital fund. The donation came with a note, for the children whose genetics don't determine their worth. In memory of the person I used to be, and in hope for the person I'm trying to become. I knew it was Vanessa. I didn't acknowledge it. I didn't reach out. But I accepted the donation and put it toward a new wing for genetic counseling services. Because here's what I learned: hurt people hurt people. Vanessa was damaged by her upbringing, by societal pressure, by her own insecurities. That doesn't excuse what she did. But understanding it helped me let go of the anger. She rejected me because she couldn't see past superficial traits. She lost someone who would have loved her, supported her, built a life with her. She lost the chance to have a family because she was so focused on appearance that she forgot about character. And me? I gained everything. A wife who loves me unconditionally. A son who will grow up knowing his worth isn't tied to how he looks. A successful career built on solving real problems. A foundation that helps thousands of kids every year. Did I get revenge on Vanessa? Maybe. But not in the way I expected. The best revenge wasn't rubbing my success in her face. It was building a life so full of love, purpose, and joy that she became irrelevant to my story. She thought my genetics were the problem. Turns out, her character was. So here's my message to anyone who's been told they're not good enough, pretty enough, tall enough, whatever enough. The person who tells you that is revealing their limitations, not yours. Your worth isn't determined by someone else's narrow standards. Vanessa said she'd rather die than have my kids. Today, I have a beautiful son, an incredible wife, and a life beyond anything I dreamed of. And Vanessa? I don't know where she is now. And honestly, I don't need to. Because the best revenge is living so well that the person who hurt you becomes a footnote in your success story. Thanks for watching, everyone. If this story resonated with you, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment about a time someone underestimated you and you proved them wrong. Share this with someone who needs to hear that their worth isn't determined by someone else's opinion. Until next time, know your value, choose people who see it, and never let anyone make you feel inferior without your consent. This is David Chen, signing off from a life better than I ever imagined.